Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grandma's Teeth, Nagging Horses. How are you guys doing today? How's life? Do you want to know the two essential ingredients of GregTech? If you want to advance in GregTech, there are two things that you need to pay attention to. One of them is the specific metal of that age. For instance, bronze was for Steam Age, steel was for LV, aluminium was for MV, stainless steel was for HV, and titanium is going to be for the other V. If you have these metals in sufficient quantities, there's literally nothing to stop your advance. And in order to solve that problem, we're going to have 4 more electric blast furnaces in order to process all the metals. Well, technically 5 in total, if you count the old one. They are nothing too complicated, it's basically the same thing that we have over here with a few minor tweaks. First off, we already know that in order to process some of the metals inside the blast furnace, it's better to have some sort of a gas as a catalyst. Oxygen, for instance, in order to get pulsating iron. Because without oxygen it's going to take 160 seconds. With oxygen it's going to be only 80 seconds. So we do have 2 super tanks. One of them is going to be for oxygen and the other one is going to be for nitrogen. And those are the 2 main gases that we need in this age. Basically we do have a pump, everything goes inside the input hatches and it's always full. Another thing that I did is that I'm extracting the items from the output hatches and everything should go inside this chest. And for powering everything we have 16 advanced combustion generators which are being powered by diesel. It's called fuel, but you know. Anyways, the only thing that we have to do is to put the dust and wait. Another thing that you might notice is that if we want to make steel using this setup, it only takes 12 seconds. Stainless steel takes 60 seconds and aluminium takes 30 seconds. These are also multi-blocks from GregTech, so I assume they can share walls, but I like symmetry. So that was one essential ingredient. What is the other one? Obviously, circuits. A lot of them. Of course, these are the components, not the circuits themselves. The circuits themselves are over here. We need to work towards these guys and we need to mass produce all the components. But that is essentially GregTech for you in a nutshell: metals, circuits, few chemicals in between, and a few multi-blocks. And talking about chemicals, I need better cells in order to carry oil. Stainless steel cell can carry 64 buckets. And it's not that expensive, cause you know, it's far better than carrying like 1000 cells. You might also notice that we have a decent supply of stainless steel because the only thing that I made from the HV age is 1 machine hull. That's it. Oh, and yes, I also upgraded my backpacks. They required stainless steel rings. Electrum ring. That's easy. Imagine proposing with this ring. Although I would imagine that enriched uranium will be more fun. Oh, it's a double stainless steel. Ew. Who cares? It's not that terrible. This should be a far better method of carrying oil. Yes, this is like 8 stacks of normal cells. Although one thing that I have realized is that this guy is no longer functioning, so maybe we're out of oil. Which actually brings us to our next order of business, resources. If you guys remember, I think it was the last episode where I started testing a miner, and I forgot where I put it. Oh yes, it's over here. So these guys are amazing. Look at the amount of resources that we got. And I just don't have 1, I have 4. Next to our kitchen is the second one. Down here in our mine shafts is the third one. The fourth one is actually in the nether with a chunk loader and it's mining us sphalerite. But here is the main plan. I need to find sources of oil, I need to find new resources. So how are we going to do this? In my immediate vicinity, I have literally mined everything. So if I want to find new resources, I have to walk quite a bit. I should always check that when I'm talking outside, is it nighttime or is it not? We have time. At first I started looking for reservoirs and I noticed that we have 2 of them nearby, but they're far in between. When I was looking at the map, I think I found our jackpot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And yes, it's a bit far away, it's like 1200 blocks, but we're going to solve that issue with railcraft. We can chunk load the place, we can extract the oil, we can use railcraft as a means of fast transportation, and later on we should be able to use it in order to bring back the oil and resources back to our base. So basically what we're going to have is train logistics. But before doing all of that, there are 2 things that I want to test. There is something called a universal macerator, which is from the HV age. It's supposed to give me the ores and the byproducts. Cause you know, whenever you're macerating some sort of an ore, you always get the crushed version, but not the byproduct. And this is basically why we have a lot of centrifuges and electrolyzers, and if the macerator does it on its own, we don't need them, at least for the moment. So let me craft it and I'll be right back. We have 4 advanced circuits, so I can make a macerator and a combustion generator. It has not been a crazy amount of time. We have our combustion generator and we have our macerator. We just need a little bit of diesel, just in case. And let us see if you actually work. We will test it with malachite. It should give us 2 crushed malachite ore and 1 copper dust. So do you work as advertised or no? And it does work as advertised. I'm very happy. it's just that it cost me 3 circuits. Anyhow, let us start with railcraft. Obviously we're going to start with normal tracks, and they're not that expensive. We need a rail bed, which is essentially wood slabs with creosote oil. Also later on we're going to remove the coke ovens and we're going to replace them with electronic coke ovens because they are much faster. The problem is that making the coils is relatively expensive. You know, sometimes you're like, should I use the machine, should I not? And well, you see the speed. And that was an MV machine. An LV machine is faster. Maybe it's because it's making slabs. Also, you my dear friend, you have been extremely expensive, so start working. There is a recipe of doing this inside an assembler, but this is easy, convenient, and much faster. And besides, how much do you think we need? Literally each one of them is going to give us half a stack of rails. Although now we kind of need to start making the actual rail, which is basically a rod inside a bending machine with circuit number 6, 5, and 6. Of course, for the moment the cheapest material that we can use is iron, so we're going to use that. For some reason we have an advanced bending machine. I don't remember why we made it, but we're going to use this one. It's going to be faster. Circuit number 6, some rods, give me some rail. Thank you, thank you. So we have all the components. If we do this manually we're going to get only 8, but if we put it inside an assembler we will get half a stack. And since it's very economical, that is a recipe that I'm willing to wait for. Oh, it goes inside the chest. I forgot. Anyways, tracks are not the only thing that we need. We also need a locomotive, which is not that expensive. And since I'm not going to lay the tracks manually, we also need a tunnel bore, which is also not that crazy. I shall craft everything, and I'll be right back. It was not a terrible amount of crafting, it's just that you have to literally do every single item inside an assembler. It takes a little bit of time, but it's not that bad. I did make the tunnel bore, which is going to dig a tunnel, as well as laying the tracks for us. And it does require a bore head. So I decided to make a diamond version, which was not that crazy expensive. We already made this in order to make the pulverizer. I also made a steam locomotive, but we can't really use it right now because we don't have any tracks. But here is the point. Our destination is within the mesa biome, so we need to dig 10 chunks into the mountain and then move south, and thankfully nobody wants to eat me. Good. That is our refinery area. We're going to dig the tunnel over here. In order to place down the bore itself, we need to have a few tracks, which I have to place down manually. Then we should be able to put the bore on top. It's massive, I know. And we need a few more tracks. Yeah, that should be enough. So as I have already mentioned, this guy is going to require a bore head. So the diamond one goes in, and you can literally see the bore head. So this guy is going to dig a tunnel and it's going to drop a lot of garbage. So we do have some chest cards, which I'm going to put over here. And I did not know the crowbar from GregTech will work or not, but I did make one from Railcraft. We just need to right click on you and then sneak right click on the bore. And the link has been created. Good. We also link you to you. Therefore anything that the bore mines should go inside these chests. Also, in order for the bore to work, it is going to require tracks, and since it is going to run into caves eventually, we're going to give it a little bit of gravel so that it can fill in the gaps. And of course, finally, we need fuel. It should start working and it should start digging. Perfect. I love you. And everything is going into the chests. Good. I should also probably give it a chunk loader, but for the moment I don't think we need one. Because it's going to travel 8 chunks and I think that will be chunk loaded anyways. Our base is right over there. It has been a little bit of time later, I have been doing some crafting, and let us see the progress of our tunnel bore. I just realized I made it too far, and I forgot where I made it, and we have crashed. Again. Welcome back, and I have found the tunnel. So do you see these small ores over here? Whenever I harvest them manually, or apparently when the tunnel bore starts mining them, the game crashes. It's not every single ore, it's one of them, but I don't know which one. You have been digging a lot, and there's a witch. Oil sand. Nice. Dude, how far have you dug? Actually, this is a perfect opportunity to show you. You see, it's filling the gap with gravel. I'm assuming it should have been magnetite, because those are the last ore it harvested. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention is that we need to make another tunnel because we need to have 2 tracks. The trains need to go on a loop so that they don't collide with each other. Because you know, Railcraft has loading stations, unloading stations, and we can basically automate our logistics. This place is polluted. I wanted to make some silicon. How are we doing on ingots? Very good. Oh, we have more over here. Nice. I got blindness. From a mob? Or is this pollution? That is perfectly fine. It is far away from our base, so we should be safe. Besides, we have a hazmat suit. And just to check if it was pollution or not, I'm going with a hazmat suit. Yeah, I think it was the pollution. You can see particle effects. Nice. We are destroying the environment. Also, not all of that is going to fit, so we need to put some of them, I don't know, inside you. Also, one very important fact. Sometimes you need to change the circuits and you don't know what to do with the old circuit. The quest book tells you that you can just put it over here, like so. But we do have Draconic Evolution in the pack, so we can just do this. I'm making the wrong silicon. Yeah, cause you know what happened? I put the silicon first, so it made the ingot, and then I put the gallium arsenide. It's not a horrible mistake, we just need one more silicon. There you go. Good as new. And instead of taking 450 seconds, it's taking 225 seconds. That's a good upgrade. Anyways, let us get back down to business. When I was waiting for the tunnel bore, I was also working on some stuff. We are going to have a very small project in the Nether, and I think it's going to be worth it, because I just realized you can electrolyze lava. There's a very low chance of getting resources, but we will get gold. And we are also going to get tantalite. And why is tantalite important? Because if we electrolyze it, we are going to get manganese. And we use manganese in order to make stainless steel. And I had problems finding the recipe. There you go. So of course it's not going to be hyper efficient, but at least I should be able to get rid of the lava pool and go to the Nether Fortress. And also get a few goodies in the process. So there is one point that I forgot to mention. We are also going to get golden nuggets. I'm going to use an alloy furnace in order to convert it into gold nuggets. And for the dust that we're getting, we're going to use a packager. I have already made the packager, but it does need a schematic for dusts. You might think that it's going to be cheap, but basically you're going to need stainless steel and 4 good electronic circuits. So I'm not going to be extremely happy, but we're going to make one. Oh, you're gonna take forever. 160 seconds. Well, this would have been 16 seconds, but no. No. Also, the chunk loader that I could afford from Railcraft requires ender pearls in order to operate. And apparently we can also use ender fragment, and it has a durability of 1 hour. So not that bad. Are you done? Thank you. Yes, this one is for dusts. Perfect. So I'll be incredibly honest with you, there's a high chance that we're missing a few stuff. First off, we don't really need to carry the trains. And I think we're just going to carry a pump and a few conveyor belts. And also a tank. And do you know what I forgot? The electrolyzer. I did not make a separate one, we're gonna take this one. Hello? You're big. We go in. Don't fire. Oh nice, you guys spawn here. So if you guys remember when we discovered the Nether, that is the Nether Fortress. And this is what stands between us. And yes, I did mention that I'm going to forget something, and you know what I forgot? Mining pipes. And I'm assuming that should be more than enough. Good morning. Oh, you're a boss. I'm hoping you're not following me? No. We ran away. So how do we want to do this? Well, I'm assuming the first thing that we have to do is to put in the pump. You're going to get the mining pipes. We have some combustion generators. We have some cables. The tank goes on top. And you're going to ignore the fact that I forgot diesel and pipes. You're not going to despawn, are you? Yeah, we kill you. I don't have that much diesel. It's okay, there's always plenty over here. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ignore that derp. Yes, we have diesel and we are going to get lava. Very good. You might think that we're using a pump and this is not deep enough, but it's actually taking the lava from there. So this guy has a huge range. You can put the electrolyzer over here, and if I give you a pump, you should be able to take in the lava. You do not pump out of a tank. No, it seems that you really don't want to do that. Well, that's a bit of a pickle. I did manage to set it up, and yes, we did have a very small problem which I'm going to address later, but then I realized there are no mobs between us and the Nether Fortress. So, should we go in? It's 1.7, so we don't get the achievement. It's incredibly dark, I can't see anything. Oh, Nether wart. And a blaze. 2 blazes. We are magicians, we first need to scan them. Oh, you're fast? I have a feeling that we're going to die. But then again, my feelings can be wrong. You're also a boss. But you're a nice boss. You gave me a chest plate. We are injured, so we have slowness, weakness, mining fatigue, and nausea. That really helps you when you're injured. I think our dearest pack developer was not really familiar with the concept of adrenaline. Also, you might notice that we have broken our piston boots. This is why we always carry an extra, to get out of sticky situations. I really should not push it, but let us get some nether wart and just go back home, because this is 1.7 and we are not regening health. I have no idea what that was. Oh, it's a mob from Biomes of Plenty. I don't remember them, but then again, I hate the Nether. I rarely come here. Anyways, the mistake that I just mentioned to you is that it was not an electrolyzer, it was a centrifuge. So yes, it does work, and we're getting a little bit of goodies. It is not the fastest thing in the world, but it's giving us silicon dioxide, and I'm pretty excited about this, because it's very useful for making coils. Oh, and by the way, I did bring a personal anchor. We can chunk load it for 2 hours. It seems that our miner in the Nether has been busy, and we should have some sphalerite. Oh, that is actually a lot, 2 stacks and 15. We take some of that home. I don't know what you're going to say about my electronic blast furnaces, but this is the result. I'm extremely happy. We even have 8 silicon. For us, that's almost a bajillion circuits, and we should get more. The problem is that I don't have gallium arsenide. I mean, now that our miner managed to get sphalerite from the Nether, we should be able to get gallium, but arsenide is going to be a problem. I think it was from cobaltite. Yes, it is from cobaltite, and I just remembered. I processed every single cobaltite that we have, so we should have plenty of arsenic. That is not a lot. That is 42. Okay then, I'm assuming we're good. Next episode we should be able to focus on the circuits. Also, in between the episodes, I did work a lot on Thaumcraft, and we have 12 research. Some of them are not very important, but this one is Ender Chest, so finally we should be able to see its recipe, which is really bad. Nether Star Plates. Okay, then that is a no. We have Boots of the Traveler. Generally, I don't have a problem with it, but a pufferfish? Really? Anyways, we also have the Enchanting Table, so we should be able to see its recipe, which is... I have no idea what this is. Oh, it's not that bad. Okay, it's microblocks. This is going to give us a little bit of warp, but I'm actually very excited about this because this is a stone extruder. We got warp. It has very high instability, but I think it's going to give us arcane stone. Anyways, the rest of them are not that important. We just unlock them all. And I'm getting a lot of warp. Well, let us hope it's not permanent warp, because otherwise we're dead. So next episode we're going to work on circuits, we're going to work on Thaumcraft, and I also noticed that the inventory panel from Ender.io is now almost unlocked to us. So maybe we're also going to get a little bit into Ender.io. We will see how it goes. Anyway guys, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.